Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. It's my NFL team history video. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to highlight teams that underachieved in the National Football League that had outstanding talent, grade A talent. And that team you're looking up on the screen there, the 1992 Houston Oilers was special. But they didn't close the door. They were similar to a team back like 9 years earlier, to me, had the greatest college basketball team of all time, the Houston Cougars with Phi Slama Jama. They had Akeem Olajuwon, Clyde the Glide Drexler, Michael Young, the Mr. Doctor of Rebounding, Larry Mishaw, and their best player who really should have been playing in the NBA from Louisiana, Benny Elders. And that team underachieved by losing the national championship game to the North Carolina State Wolfpack and Jim Valvano, Jerry Wittenberg, and Sidney Lowe. Well, let's wind it up later. In the 1992 Houston Oilers put me in the mind of the 1983 Houston Cougars that didn't close the door and win the national championship in college basketball. Now, let me talk about the Oilers. And by the way, I'm Vincent Turner, Mr. Football, and if you like the video today, please come in and share it. I'm sorry I should have gave that, but I'm excited right now because I want to talk about this football team. They was the team of Texas for the Dallas Cowboys started winning Super Bowls in the mid-90s. Very, very special football team. But I think they didn't have the right coaching with Jack Pardee. He was very successful with the Houston Cougars and Andre Ware. But stepping your game up on the next level, you got to be able to harness that talent. And when you look at the Houston Oilers of 1992, they underachieved at a high level, but they had Super Bowl talent. The last game of the year, they beat the Buffalo Bills 27-3, pounded them in the ground in the Astrodome to make the playoffs. The following week, they went to Buffalo and played the Bills in a wild card game. We all know how the story ended. The Oilers blew a 32-point lead and ended up losing in overtime 41-38. And I said to myself, when you look at that situation now, how does that happen? Because when you look at grade A talent and teams like the 1992 Houston Oilers that underachieve, it makes you better. It makes you very bitter as a football fan going forward in your life. At 61 years old, this team on a talent level is right up there with any other great teams that won the Super Bowl. Like the 60 Green Bay Packers, the Kansas City Chiefs that won Super Bowl IV, the New England Patriots with Tom Brady, some of those teams, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, the Steel Curtain, the Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s. This team underachieved. Let me start at the quarterback position. Warren Moon. He was out for a time that year, got hurt, but came back, still threw for a lot of yards. I think he threw for close to 1,700 yards. But I'm going to start in the backfield with Warren Moon. No, excuse me, he threw for 2,500 yards, 18 touchdowns that year, playing in about 9 games. But let me start with the backfield. And they was running a serious run and shoot. I don't want to hear about the greatest offense on turf with the Rams, with Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Hazi Akeem, Torrey Holt. These guys were running the serious greatest show on the turf. As I mentioned, Warren Moon, 2,500 yards, 18 touchdowns a year. But they had a young man from Michigan State out of the state of Florida by the name of Lorenzo White. He had 1,226 yards, and he was special. One of the top 3 backs in the 1992 season. Then they had Gary Brown, that was a thumper out of Penn State that backed him up. Then look who they had as a third team guy who couldn't get on the field, Spencer Tillman, Bomasuna out of the University of Oklahoma. But it was the receiving corps that was special. We talk about all these receiving corps, Jerry Rice, John Taylor with Frisco, Lynn Swan, John Stallworth with Pittsburgh, Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper with Dallas. Even recently, right now, team that's made the Super Bowl, the Cincinnati Bengals, I like they three outside, Jamar Chase. Homeboy from the 865. This for you, Jeremiah T. Higgins out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and Tyler Boyd. Kind of reminds me of Houston Oilers receiving corps in 1992. But this Houston Oilers receiving corps was deep. Just think about who they had, man. Haywood Jeffries, who's about 6'3", could go up and get it with any of them. Vertical. Had 90 receptions that year, 913 yards. Curtis Duncan out of Northwestern, 82 receptions, 954 yards. Webster Slaughter, San Diego State, California, YA, 39 receptions that year, 486 yards. Ernest Givens with the Shake, Louisville's finest, 67 receptions, 787 yards. Then they had Leonard Harris, 35 receptions, 435 yards. Think about that. They had 5 receivers that could go anywhere in the league at that time and put a stamp on something. Then think about this. Their offensive line had 2 Hall of Famers. 2. Some of the greatest that's played the position. Bruce Matthews, USC, Mike Munchak, Penn State. Then they had Kevin Gilbride as offensive coordinator. Then I'm going to get on the defensive side of the ball. They had a linebacker that can run like a deer. They played with one of my best friends, my homeboy from Memphis, Tennessee, Eric Blunt, from the 901. His name was Lamar Lathan. 6'3", 260, can run like a deer, 4'4" guy. Then they had Bubba McDowell out of the U. They had Chris Dishman. Bo Orlando, one of the hardest hitters in state out of West Virginia. Steve Jackson out of Purdue. They had a veteran coming off the bench at the Eyes of Texas, Jerry Gray. Then they had a tremendous defensive end that was hard-nosed, that was nasty on the D-line. They had 3 of them. Ray Childress out of Texas A&M, William Fuller out of North Carolina, and Sean Jones out of Northeastern. Sean Jones was a player, man. Then they had another DB, Darrell Lewis out of Arizona. Then they had Greg Williams. He was on the defensive staff. We know how good he became as a D coordinator. And this team underachieved, brother. I had them down. Matter of fact, I had put money on them against Buffalo. Over $500 I had on the Oilers. And when it was up 32-3 in that game, I could not believe I was 500 plus 500 is $1,000, baby. But this football team here, underachieved. They might be the most underachieving team in pro football history. The talent was Hall of Fame players, Roy Moon, Mike Munchak, Bruce Matthews. That talent was serious, man. And they should have not lost 6 games that year. And I picked the Oilers to go to the Super Bowl. My heart was crushed in 1992. I was living in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. Currently, had got a job at FedEx and currently was working with UPS. Very thankful at that time. But this team right here, the Houston Oilers, they were special. And they had that Astrodome rocking. But, man, I lost $500 on this team. But that talent level was outstanding. And to the state of Texas, and to a very good friend of mine, Mark Denham. I know him as Mark Bass, the greatest voice of all of radio, television, The guy has pipes. Paul Harvey. That's right. This to you, brother. Jack Pardee. Underachieve! So my final words about the 1992 Houston Oilers. During the game, I thought about this song right here by a group out of Philadelphia, PA, by the way of Cleveland, Ohio. And a rock group redone it in 1998. And during the game, all I can think about was this song. Money, money, money. Some people got to have it. Some people really need it. They do bad things, good things. Money, money, money. That day, I thought I was going to be money, money, money. And I was going to do bad things in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. And when I'm talking about bad things, I was going on Beale Street. I would say something else, but I'm not going to put it out there, but you know what I'm saying. The Houston Oilers, 1992, y'all let me down. That was a very talented football team. In that year in the draft, they drafted Eddie Robertson, who's right now the head coach at Alabama State. And they had a linebacker out of Oklahoma that was off the chains by the name of Joe Bowden. And let me throw one other player that was outstanding on the team, Glenn Montgomery, on the D-line. How do you lose with talent like that and blow a 32-3 lead in a wild card round? That doesn't happen. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. I've been your host, Vincent Turner, Mr. Football. And to my producer, Mr. Logan Landers, I'd like to say thank you this morning here on 100 Yards of Football. And enjoy the Super Bowl, which is coming up next week. Two great teams, the Cincinnati Bengals and the LA Rams, playing in the city of LA. God bless.